know if I'm on LinkedIn because my LinkedIn was doing something funky, but maybe we're on your LinkedIn. Anyway, it's Shannon Spencer and Reanette Etzler. We are here with the Shine Factor this week after taking a short break for a lot of busy life stuff. How you been, Reanette? Crazy busy?
I have been good. Just enjoying the hot weather.
Right? Oh my
Went
God.
on a church retreat last weekend, so that was nice. A women's retreat to
I saw that you do you
reconnect.
go to the same church as Jan, or did you just
No, I
okay?
just went to yeah. I might consider going to their church. There's a lot of nice women there, and really, um, yeah, it was uplifting. The women were so nice because sometimes we go into those situations with other women and it can be really cliquey and
Right.
really out of place or uncomfortable, but they were amazing. They were
Nice.
didn't feel that with anybody, so it was nice.
Our church hasn't done a women's retreat since before COVID started.
It
But
seems like people are having a hard time getting back into it. This is the first time this church has had one for several years, I guess. But I know sometimes it's a struggle to do the women's retreats because women have a hard time getting away.
right. Well, and it was over Mother's Day weekend. No, it was the weekend before that you went on the retreat, right?
It was Thursday to Saturday, so we came home on Saturday. So we were home for Mother's Day yesterday. How was your Mother's Day?
It was so nice. I am fortunate that my mother-in-law lives in Walla Walla, so we went. My kids all came home, and we went to Walla Walla for Saturday and kind of had a quasi celebrate Rachel's graduation and celebrate my son's upcoming birthday and celebrate Mother's Day with that part of the family all in one thing. So that was really fun.
Nice.
And then my parents live here in the Tri-Cities, so they came over yesterday, and we love to play card games and board games. So we spent the afternoon and evening playing cards and eating amazing barbecue that my husband cooked. So
Nice.
I love
Sounds
the weekend. And since my kids, well, Rachel was already in town for her after her graduation, but as on a visit. But my son and daughter-in-law live in Spokane, so it's really close for them to
yeah,
come by. And
that's nice.
yeah, and when I think about women in my life who lift me up, I can definitely say that my sister-in-law Wanda, Gary's sister, my mother-in-law lives with her. She and my mother-in-law are two people that I've known now for over 30 years, and they are two of the most uplifting women that I know.
Oh,
Spending time with them.
you're very fortunate to have that. Not a lot of people would say that about your in-laws. Their in-laws. Yeah. So that's good that you're able to say that.
Well, I told my kids my mother did not have that same relationship with her daughter-in-laws and does not have that same relationship and but I do with mine and my parents did with theirs while they were alive. And so they could see the difference between going to one side of the family and going to the other side, and I was like, this is the rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't marry somebody who doesn't like me.
Yeah, I would say now that you say that, probably my mom's parents were more like that. Like they were I mean, their family was a lot closer. And, my aunt and uncles, I don't really see them as like the ones that married into the family are all aunts and uncles. They're all brothers and sisters. I know yeah. So they've had amazing relationships. And I think it was probably because of my grandparents. So, yeah.
And I think it really is like the example that we set and what our intentions are, I guess, of
Yeah.
how we want to do that. And I think that's the same with the topic that we picked for today. I saw a friend on Facebook had posted this question, and so I told Rachel that I loved it so much that I was going to share the same question on my Facebook to see what kinds of reactions we got. And the question is, if your friend wears something that doesn't look good on them or fit them well, do you tell them? And I have some mixed results here, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Please share.
I'm going to tell them. Other people are like, oh, no, there's no way I would say anything. Some people gave some pretty good advice about how they would tell their friend,
Uh-huh.
if they thought that they didn't look as good as maybe they think they do.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that? How would you say anything?
You know, um, I guess I asked myself, like, what I want to know if something doesn't look good on me. And so I would want to know. So I'd probably tell somebody, but I think it depends on the person
Yeah,
that I'm talking to. Because some people I'm thinking in my life off the top of my head would not be so open and would take it more of an insult than they would take it as a um yeah, they would take it more of an insult than they would me telling them that they would look better if they did something else. I think one, it's how we approach it, right? And then two, the person that we're talking to. So, but not everybody is as self-aware to be able to one, know how to say it right, and then two, whether the person wants to hear it or not.
right,
Right.
right.
And
And it
so
was
some
so
people
funny.
are just
There were a couple people that were like, I wouldn't say anything because I have no fashion sense myself.
yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of one of my really close friends, and she's always a little fashionista, and she would want me to tell her,
Right.
but then I'm thinking of a couple of family members that if I were to say that to, they would think that I was just criticizing them or insulting them. So I think it depends on the person. And then how we say it, I think is important. And if somebody
And
asks,
for my daughter to go to not say that's what you're gonna wear.
I may have said that to my mom once or twice.
You're
And
really
maybe
wearing
that
clothes.
is where I'm like, oh, it didn't go over so well.
My daughter does not care about what she wears. Hey, I see we have a viewer. Yay, we have somebody watching us anyway. So if
Yay.
you're here, give us a shout out because we would love to talk with you and hear about your thoughts on this matter. And not just necessarily be talking to ourselves. Oh, now they're gone. They're shy. Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, one of my comment to Rachel when I saw that post originally was I spent a lot of years working in retail. And one of the things that I really loved, especially working in the junior department or even in the men's department, was helping people figure out what they felt good in and what they felt comfortable in. So
Yeah.
I learned some ways to phrase things like, gosh, that top is so cute. Tell me about it, right? And then they open up and talk about it, and
Mhm.
then usually we have a habit of telling on ourselves, right? We're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of tight or whatever. I just didn't know how to put it together. So then that would give me an opening. Or sometimes I would say, gosh, another way you could wear that
Mhm.
is, so trying to approach it that way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's funny that you're saying that because I was recently trying on clothes at a little small department store, and it wasn't a department store, a small store. And, the girl that was helping us was great, but everything I put on looked great, which I knew myself it didn't look great. So,
oh yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah,
so
right,
sometimes we're like, gosh, we just want the truth. We want the honest truth. Can't you just tell us, what we
right.
really look like? Like, does my butt really look big? Does it really not look big? Does it, you know, does
I don't
it?
think I would walk up to my girlfriend and say, those pants, those stripes are just the wrong way. I think they really make your butt look big. I wouldn't do that. But if you asked me, I would say, well, I think maybe something different might be more flattering.
Yeah. I did a keynote speaking event one time at a conference, and I got the video back and I was like, oh, that dress looks gigantic on me. Well, I emailed the girl back that sent me the video, and she was the one that was put the conference together. And I said, wow, I said, that dress really made me look large. And she said, yeah, I think the way that the stripes were on the dress, because I mean, knowing you in person, it didn't look that big, but the stripes made it look a lot bigger. I appreciated that. It was like, no, the dress actually looked really good on you in person, but on the video, the stripes are not probably the best option for you. And so I'm
Right.
like, okay, I'll never wear that dress again.
Right. Burning it. It's gone.
It was a really cute dress too, so it's kind of
Well,
disappointing.
it is something though to be camera aware. And like
Mhm.
I have a former client and friend who is a personal stylist. And it's so funny. I had her style me for a couple of speaking events, but then after that, I got like super conscious whenever I'm wearing anything. I had the rules of what was supposed to be my, my assets versus not. And
Yeah,
I like to wear busy patterns and stuff. And she was trying to like simplify me down a little
tone
bit
you down a little bit.
better for speaking and things like that. So then like whenever I know I'm gonna be around her, I'm like thinking to what did she tell me looks best on me? Okay, I gotta make sure I
That's funny. I like it though. A personal stylist is probably super helpful. They get you outside your box and wearing things that you didn't think would really look good on you
absolutely.
too.
She had me wear this dress that I never would have thought of and put this little belt around me and all these accessories. And so I mean back in the day when I was young, I used to do all that stuff. But
Yeah.
um,
So I think if I were to, I think it's one the way that we approach it, right? So using I statements is that I really think that that shirt looks good on you. What do you think about maybe wearing it this way? Or, um, is it, uh, I really love that shirt. I'm not sure that those are the pants that you want to wear with that shirt.
right, right. I think that
Yeah.
sure would look better if you had, you know, whatever kind of thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it is interesting. So one of the things I noticed by the people who were commenting is it was kind of personality style driven. I felt like those of us who were running bold personality styles, more that driver kind of style, seemed to be the ones that said, yes, we would say something. And then there were some people that were more the um in between where they were like, well, I if they asked me, I would totally say something. And then there were others who were like, nope, not saying a word, and
Yeah.
those were the ones who were really seemed to be those servant hearted, soft spoken, gentle personality styles that they just, wouldn't say a thing.
Yeah.
I found that really interesting.
So if we choose not to say anything, then we choose not to have an opinion, right? So, like, if we choose, like, I think too, if we choose not to say anything to that person, we can't turn around to the next person and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's wearing that.
Right? We were having this discussion at dinner last night with my parents. My mom they were describing somebody that they saw walking down the street, or no, they were at the store, I think. And they were saying how she was wearing, my dad said he can't stand the fashion where everything is all shredded now. Now, granted,
Oh,
my
yeah.
in their upper 70s. And so my dad was talking about how basically the girls' shorts were so shredded that they could, if she'd had any underwear on, they couldn't really tell, but it was very revealing. And
Yeah.
then my mom was saying that she was wearing a top, but that her total bra showed, and her bra was a different color than the shirt. So it stood out. And I was explaining to my parents that that's the fashion, that's a trend that
Yeah.
some people choose to embrace. And they had some words that they it was definitely not a trend that they themselves embrace or would like to see anybody wear.
Right. They want to see a cleaner look, maybe a little more respectable.
Yeah, so it was
Mhm.
funny because I mean,
Fashion isn't always respectable, right?
yeah, and that's what my dad was saying is, this person doesn't look like they, take very good care of themselves, but buy those choice of clothes. Maybe those choice of clothes made that particular woman just feel like she was, really rocking it. But so there's generational kinds of differences. I have a
Mhm.
hard time with the bra strap thing. I'm finally kind
I
of
do
getting
too.
down to it, but I just have been trained that that's not something that we show, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Same here. We're same generation. Our
But to your point, instead of, I mean, obviously they're not going to walk up to a stranger on the street, but if it had been Rachel, my dad might have raised an eyebrow and said, really, is that what you're going to wear? He might have said that to her because as his granddaughter. But instead, what they would really do is after she left, then they would start nitpicking about, I can't believe she walked out of the house like that. I can't believe she's wearing that. Oh my gosh, did you see Reanette in those stripes? Are you kidding me? You know,
right. Yeah. Exactly. It's one thing to maybe talk to about a parent about a younger child that is, hey, just my opinion is I don't think your daughter looks appropriate when she wears stuff like that. But sometimes it's really, I mean, it's their parenting, it's their choice. They know what their daughter looks like. I remember one time my stepdaughter leaving the house, and this is when shorty shorts came in about 5 or 6 years ago. Actually, yeah, it's about 5 or 6 years ago. And I called my husband on the phone. They were on their way to school. I called my husband on the phone and I was like, hey, can you make sure that your daughter has shorts on today? Because they were so short that I couldn't see, like, she had a flannel shirt on that was longer than her shorts. And I was like, can you just make sure she has shorts on? And, I was not the parents, like, but I did want to make sure that she had some shorts on, which I'm sure she had shorts on, right? But he, was just not even aware. He ended up making her change on the way to school. But
She probably would have got dress coded.
not at that school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little country bumpkin school.
Okay.
But you just is having that respectable look, but also parents have to make their decision. And so I'm with you, is that if we don't like what we see, unless we say something, I think that we shouldn't be turning around and then gossiping to someone else. I remember catching myself a while back. I was with some girlfriends, and one of the girls came to the breakfast table. It was dressed for the day, and we always dress up whenever we do something. And she had a hat on, and I was like, oh, it was a brim hat, but she just doesn't have a hat head or a hat face.
That's a good point. Some people just really should not wear hats.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, but I know her, and if I would have said something, it would have been I was criticizing her. So I didn't say anything. And I caught myself saying something to one of our other friends, and then I just kind of shut up about it because I realized, like, if I'm not going to say something to her directly, I shouldn't be saying anything to anyone else. And who cares? Like, if anyone was going to say to her, it was my other friend that I said something to, and she said, I know. That's all she said to me. But she's an S. She's not someone that's going to say something like that to somebody.
Right.
So
I think that's interesting for those of us who are more bold, though, and might be an external processor, so we don't always think before we speak.
Yes.
Sometimes we do need to just keep our opinion to ourselves, and it can be really hard for us. So those of you who don't have this personality, I want you to hear us. We're not really trying to be mean, but we have this, how we're wired is to express things out loud. And so sometimes it's hard to contain that urge to not express it to the person.
Yes. I mean, I literally bite my tongue sometimes, especially as I've gotten older. It's like I'm much more aware, and I slow down my thoughts a little bit, and I'm thinking, oh, should I say that? Should I not say that? But man, I think of my younger years and the things that came out of my mouth that should not have.
Yeah.
And that was the one time that I said to my mom, you're going to wear that? And it was just a catastrophe. It was not a good situation.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But I think that, we got to encourage people that look nice and really like pay attention to those. And even, and if we are going to say that something doesn't look great on somebody, is using those I statements, but also being very specific of what doesn't look good, right? Or what does look good on them, put it in a positive light of, you really look, maybe like what your stylist was trying to tell you is, was she trying to tell you solids to get away from your?
Yeah, she was trying to tell me that I needed more solid tops that were just a solid.
Yeah. So she'd probably be more likely to be like, Shannon, you look really nice in solid colors. Right. Even though I know you as Shannon in flashy colors, and I like the bold personality. So it's some of it's opinion, right?
Right. I know. It's just like my hair, right? So I went really, really orange with my hair this time, the super copper. And I decided I was going to model the trend of being really light on top, like you have it's really blonde on top and it's dark underneath. But I decided to choose this really fun, well, with the help of my stylist, this really fun garnet purpley colors.
Uh-huh.
I never would have done these things when I was young, but now I'm having so much fun with it. And I get lots of compliments. And I think that other people probably just keep their opinions to themselves. They don't like it. But, I'm like, I mean, I guess somebody could tell me that they would never have imagined that this color, orange and purple, being complementary together, and left it at that, and I would know that they probably
See,
didn't.
and when I see people that have colored hair or they wear bright colored clothing or they wear like standout prints, those types of things, is that they have a very bold personality. And that helps me read them as they're bold, they're gregarious normally, they're very outspoken, they're usually fun to be around, all of those things. Like those are, and so sometimes we can tell people's personalities by what they're wearing or how they wear their hair or whatever it may be. I have orange on today. It's like, yeah, I could be bold, but also, sometimes I'm wearing black and white, you know. But those bold colors also show those bold personalities,
Exactly.
right? Where somebody that has a more subtle personality may not be so apt to think that bold hair color or bold prints or orange is really appropriate to wear, or it's too bold.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Especially in different places where you might work. I mean, sometimes they want you to, it feels like they want you to be toned down or whatever. But I love that orange on you.
Thank you.
So, I think it looks gorgeous.
I'm
Okay.
trying to get more color in my wardrobe.
Right.
I go back and forth, like because black and white is just easy.
Right.
Um, and then ending it kind of on a positive note with those individuals, if we do compliment or share, if I were to share with one of my friends that I know would want me to tell her if something didn't look great on her, is being able to end it in a positive note and just say,
Right.
you have great style and I love your fashion choices and whatever you choose to wear, you look amazing. These are just, something that I think, stripes aren't the best on you.
Right.
Um, you know, Something like that.
Although if I know that their style isn't amazing and I know those kinds of things about
I
them,
wouldn't say it.
and I do have lots of friends who will tell me, Shannon, oh my gosh, we love how you dress. Would you just come dress me? But part of it again goes with my retail training of years of
Yeah.
talking with people and helping them figure out, what looks good on them, or and how to phrase those things, right? Because I'm trying to be in service to them. Because I
Yeah.
always, like, to your point, the salesperson was telling you everything looked great. My point was always, I'm going to tell you it looks great, and then you're going to go home and your best friend is going to tell you it looks like crap on you, and you're going to bring it back to the store.
Or
And
your husband is probably your best.
you're never going to trust
Yes,
anything I
he's
say
the
again,
best person to ask, right? I keep thinking I got to go through my closet, so I just need a whole day with my husband to be able to tell me what looks good and what doesn't.
right? So, but I also figure if people feel confident in it, then, so that's something that I can look at is again, it's like saying, wow, that outfit's really interesting. And if you could get them talking about it, then you kind of know how they feel. If they're feeling really good about it, then it's like, wow, I think it's so cool that you like to wear stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Or if you can tell that they're feeling uncomfortable, they're like, yeah, I really wasn't sure about how to do this, or if I should put this together, then for me it's like, that's one way you could wear it. But another way you could wear it is, oh, what if you had some black pants, or what if you had this cool jewelry that tied everything in together, So again, it's really knowing your friend, I think, and again, yes, being really positive. I mean,
Yeah.
one time I walked in and I'd cut my hair all off, and it was a little bit of crazy color, I think, in it. And I was probably 40. No, it was just bright red. But I cut all my hair off. My husband really likes long hair. And I walked in the house and I was feeling really good. And he looked at me and he said, that is the worst effing haircut I've ever seen. And I almost
Oh,
burned
wow.
tears. And he
Yeah.
just didn't even, I mean, he was just like, he hated it. He was so mad that I cut off my hair. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? You're not the one dealing with little kids and,
Yeah.
whatever, and having to take care of, 2 hours of my hair. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, my screen just went dark all of a sudden. Anyway, And so that's a way to not deal with it, husbands. Do not say that that's the worst effing hair you have ever seen to your wife, please, or your daughter, or anybody else. My husband learned a very valuable lesson that day.
Yeah,
He
maybe
must keep his
saying,
mouth
"I
shut.
really like your hair longer."
Uh,
How long is that gonna take to grow out?
yeah, right. At a quarter inch a month. Yeah,
We're
no,
looking at 6 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, he just doesn't say nothing. If I can't say nothing nice, I don't say nothing at all. So
Right, right,
but
right.
boy, that was a huge, yeah. I was like, I can't even believe you just said that to me.
Yeah, I remember my sister got her hair cut off too, right after her first actually, it was why she was pregnant with her first. And
Mhm.
my husband was not or my husband, I didn't have a husband at the time. Her husband, not happy.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then I had gotten my hair cut short, and then she went and got her hair cut short. So then, of course, he blamed it on me that I
right.
was causing,
Oh, what you better do? She's
yeah.
hormones. She's
What's with all you women cutting your hair short?
yeah.
But yeah, I think we just have to be delicate. We have to think of the person that we're talking to, how we approach it, maybe not be so blunt about it.
Yep.
What
And
our relationship with the person, right? I
yeah,
really like what you just said though, is maybe I think some black pants would look better with that shirt than those striped pants that you have on, or, you know, excuse me, something like that. Like how you approached it when you were in retail.
mhm, mhm. And and I mean that's the nice thing if you're at your friend's house, then you can easily like, or you're shopping together, right? And it's easy to go grab something off the rack and say, you know what, I think this would look even better with this, right? And
Yeah.
be able to do that. But if you're just having that conversation, I think it's a little bit different than somebody who has lettuce in their teeth, right? I mean,
Mhm.
hopefully although I know people who will not say, who I walked around all day with like lettuce
I know.
didn't say
I
a word about it, and I come home and I'm in the mirror going, "Oh my gosh, I ate that like hours ago," and then
and I've talked to 20 people.
well, I was with the same person the whole time. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
you could have said something,
Yeah.
please,
It's like, that we saw it,
right?
right? And so we might as well just say it because we saw it. But yeah, I know I have friends that will typically say something if I have something in my teeth, but I would hope that yeah, that is a lot different one. Like, tell us if we have something in our teeth.
I was laughing yesterday because we have a clear glass breakfast table, and so we were all playing games, and my son had gone to the bathroom and he came back, and so his zipper wasn't zipped, and I could see it because of the table. And I was laughing. I was like, XYZ PDQ, JoJo. And so he totally undoes everything. You still can't see anything, but he like, there you go, mom.
That's funny.
I'm like, and his wife's looking at him like, what'd you do that for? And he's like, because she told me to examine my zipper. So I did.
That's cute.
That was exactly the reaction.
Yeah. Well, I would love to see what happens on your post, because I would love to see what more people
Yeah.
people's opinions are about this.
Well, it was funny too because I hope more men will chime in because Rachel was the gal that I borrowed or shared the inspiration with. Um, she was saying, yeah, as women, we have definite ways of feeling about these things. And do men really have a preference? And I know, like Sean Quintero, I told you on my post, was like, definitely please tell me if, if I'm not
Yeah.
looking good.
Yeah.
And Sean is a very handsome man who really likes to look good. He works hard to look good for his image. And so I know, I told him, I said, I would absolutely tell you because I know that he absolutely cares, right?
Hmm.
Um, but so I'd love to hear some more opinions from men about whether, maybe I would tell them not to say that that's the worst effing thing I've ever seen, but but how the hell
Well,
they
yeah. And people can take it or leave it. Like, they don't have to listen to our opinion if they want to wear it, because maybe they think it's cute. It may not look good on them, but they still think it's cute, and they're like, "Well, I'm going to wear it anyway
if they
because
feel
it's cute."
confident in it, and they're feeling like it's good, then yeah. And one of my other friends, like she had said she's having some health struggles, and she was like, if something's too tight on me, I don't want you to tell me because I'm just having a hard enough time keeping clothes on. I can't afford to go buy
Yeah.
a wardrobe every, minute that I'm game
Yep.
trying to figure out what's going on. And so, there is that too, right? As
Yeah.
far as looking at people and recognizing that we may not realize that they have just lost a bunch of weight. And so things are baggy and whatever on them, or maybe they've gained some weight unexpectedly. And now that we're all like in the Tri-Cities, it went from being 45 degrees to 90 degrees literally in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to go try out and put on some shorts that fit me perfectly fine last fall. And guess what? I'm having a little hard time buttoning.
Yep. Yeah. Join the crowd. I was stretching my pants up this morning. I think my linen pants from last summer, they were my favorite pants. And now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to go for a walk this morning.
Yep, exactly. Because I'm not going to go buy new. I just need to like lose 5 pounds or something.
Yes, exactly.
But well, I think
Alrighty. Well, that was a good talk about
for people to talk about how we can help other people shine instead of doing what sometimes we all too often do with the power of our tongue and whisper to our friends that, oh my
yeah.
God, can you believe she wore that? And hopefully we can control ourselves and find positive ways to lift other people up, especially if they feel good about it, right?
Yeah.
Encouraging them and not making them feel like their choice was bad, right?
Bad. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because just because orange and purple hair works for me doesn't mean that the person who's looking at it, they wouldn't do it.
Looks good on my side, but yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't choose to do it, but it looks good on you. It doesn't look bad.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's all choices too. It doesn't mean that I don't look at somebody and say, "Oh, I wish I could be that bold."
Right.
So, yeah. All right. Well, that was good. Good chit chat. Well, we look forward to seeing everybody next week.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about more ways women can shine and we can help each other shine.
Yep. I'm going to be in Anaheim for 3 days with a bunch of entrepreneurs from all over the place. And I'm going to ask them a little bit about their ideas of shining. And I will bring back some new thoughts, perhaps.
Awesome.
We can share next week.
Awesome. Cool.
All right. Well, if anybody needs any help shining or helping others to shine as they're embracing who they are and who they want to become, I love to help women with that, especially women who are in the business world, entrepreneurs who are building great businesses. And Reanette, who do you love to help that you could help shine this week?
People that just want to grow as leaders and want to, know how to lead well in the workplace and lead their life well and, set their values. I'm got a big focus on values right now. So how we define our values and if we even have our values defined, right? That could be another discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.